Of what race are the Ethiopians? Because of interesting importance of the Ethiopians in world affairs, certain writers, inspired no doubt by their old prejudice against the Afro-Americans, are widely denying that there is any racial relationship between Ethiopian and Afro-American. The Ethiopians, according to these writers, are Semitic, Hamitic, Caucasian, without a single drop of Negro blood, etc., etc. Now, as regards the word Negro, there are two interpretations which are widely different, namely the American and the universal. In the United States, one as fair as a Scandinavian may be socially legally a Negro. Further, a black man who speaks with a foreign accent, wears a turban, or is of another nationality may be told that he is not a Negro. For instance, there was the case of Dr. Herbert Harrison, a distinguished native of the Virgin Islands. Dr. Harrison was a full-blooded Negro, if ever there was one. When, however, he applied for naturalization papers, he was sat down by the authorities as white. Harrison was Danish, and in the ethnological omniscience of the State Department, Danes are white. Hence, Harrison, though coal-black, was a white man. This writer saw the papers. The same was true of another light-colored Negro from Jamaica. Negro Puerto Ricans are also set down as white. In short, Negro in the United States is sometimes caste, sometimes race, sometimes both. Really, to be able to define what is a Negro, a scrambled brain is the first essential, and a touch of lunacy qualifies one as an expert. White and Negro, it must be remembered, are English. Their application to peoples of native African and Arabian descent is therefore an attempt by the English-speaking to denote social status. But since Orientals think not so much in terms of race as in terms of the social standing of the individual, and that also of his tribe or nationality, color, designations as white and Negro are almost meaningless to them. In this sense, then, certain Ethiopian peoples, as the Somali, Amharas, Tigrians, Shoans, who show some white admixture, would not be Negroes. Only those like the Chankala and the Yumbos, who show none, would be. If, however, we use the American definition of Negro, which includes all the shades from black to light yellow and white, and all textures of hair from silky blonde to tightly curled wool, then every Ethiopian this writer has ever seen would be a Negro, and nearer to the pure type than the average Afro-American. Some Somalis have straight black hair, but so have many Afro-Americans of Indian descent. Besides, the Somalis would be uniformly darker. In short, even in the most learned and scientific circles, there has never been any agreement as to what is a Negro. Writers like Elliott Smith, Lady Lugard, and Dr. Junker have their definition of Negro. Others equally informed as Sir Henry Johnston, Jean Finot, and Professor Dorsey. There's also, as for Hamitic, that is only a darker mulatto type which has become fixed by interbreeding. A son of Ham has always been supposed to be a black man, it would be easy to pick out any number of what the scientists call Hamitic from among the mulattoes of the United States and the West Indies. This was the type that seemed to have predominated in ancient Egypt. As regards the Asiatic origin of the Ethiopians, it appears that a people known as the Habasha or Habisha migrated to Ethiopia from Yemen, Arabia. Some writers are insisting, therefore, that the Ethiopians are Asiatics. As for the Semitic origin, there was a considerable migration of Jews to Ethiopia with Menelik first, but that was in 1955 BC. For the past 2,800 years, these Semites have been mixing with the African natives. In some cases, they are indistinguishable from them. Besides, there was considerable Negro strain in the Jews in Solomon's time, again and unmistakably Negroed. Semitic indicates language, not race. A Semite, like an English-speaking person, may be black or white. Some white strain came into Ethiopia with the Portuguese, and some has filtered in from Egypt, but not much. The ruling classes of Ethiopians have mixed freely with the purer type Negroes. The masters have had children by these Negro women, and since there is no racial discrimination in Ethiopia, the offspring also entered the ruling classes. Menelik II, the greatest of their rulers after Haile Selassie, was at least 7/8 Negro. Negro blood dominated in him, Menelik, as it did in many other Ethiopian chiefs. Menelik's mother was a woman of low origin, giving him the Negroid face from National Geographic magazine, volume 12, page 94. As regards Haile Selassie, W. Alexander Powell, an American traveler, tells of a white American woman who, when she saw him riding in a state in Paris with Premier Poincaré, and later in the movies being entertained by King George, King Albert, and King Victor Emmanuel, wanted to know why all this fuss was being made over a common African nigger. The dusky little man who drove through the Paris streets, far from being a Negro, is of blood as purely Caucasian as that of the American woman. Beyond the utmost purple rim, page 292. Powell thus sees Haile Selassie as a white man.